Hey, welcome to another video. Today's video is really important. Okay, so I had some plans for what I was going to be talking about in this video, but it took a dramatic turn during my Saturday long run. You see, the weather is warming up around the nation, and this was one of the first warm days of my running block right now. And so I forgot to bring something really important with me during my run, and this run was just a disaster. So you're going to watch the run, and then we're going to talk about something that totally transformed my running experience in warm weather. And I believe if you watch this, learn, and implement it, you are going to have significant improvement in your running. So let's jump in and let's watch this one. All right, welcome to another video. Today we are going to be doing my most intimidating run of the week. I am intimidated by this run all week long, and it's a little bit of a different run than what I've normally been doing in training for the last few marathons. But my coach has me doing these long hold at marathon paces that they continue to build. So we first started out with a 1 mile warm up and 4 miles at marathon pace, which is a 7:04. And we've been slowly building up. Today we've got a 2 mile warm up with 9 miles at marathon pace. And so this will be my first time holding marathon pace for 9 miles. And to be honest, I'm pretty intimidated by it. Every Thursday I'm intimidated by this run. And so today we're gonna get after it and see what we can do at marathon pace for 9 miles. It's hard to hold it for that long. So in the past, my marathon training has been a lot more track workout, where it is more like 800s, 1Ks, 400s, and things like that. That's been the speed work, or holding marathon pace in the middle of a 18-mile run on Saturdays. So she's moved them to Thursdays, this training block, and just extending those holds for a lot longer than I have in the past. Trying to get me more comfortable so that when I go into grandma's, I feel more confident that I've held marathon pace for a lot longer, and it's not like the first time I'm actually getting there for that long. And so we'll see how it works. So far it's been feeling good. It's been stretching. It's been hard every single Thursday. I feel pretty beat up afterwards, so let's get after this one and see what happens. A couple of things that I'm doing for today to help out. One is nitric oxide booster. This helps delay the onset of lactic acid, so that heavy feeling, that feeling of fatigue in your legs, this helps to delay that. So I've been using that for a while, really like that. Then also for fuel today, I'm going to be using Carb Fuel. This is a 50 gram of carbs. If you're new to running, don't start with a 50 gram. Start with a regular gel that typically has something around 24 grams of carbs. But for me, I've been well adapted. So 50 grams today on an 11 miler will be just about right. And then also for my water, I'll be carrying just one of these. I personally don't like handheld. I don't like holding it in my hand. So this just clips onto my belt. And I also don't have to have like when I do a marathon, I'll have a whole water belt that has 2 water bottles on it. But for today, 11 miles, weather's pretty nice today. It's a little bit windy, but pretty nice. And so this one water bottle will be probably just enough. And there's a couple water stops along the way, so if I need to refill it, I can. But that's what I'll be doing for fuel today. For today's run, I'll be wearing Asics Super Blast 3. These are really great for a high performance run like today, where we're going to be doing some warm up, but then some tempo pace or marathon pace, getting after it type of a run. Very springy, almost feels like you're on marshmallows at first, but when you get going at marathon pace, they really do help pick up, give you some good proportion, almost like you have a carbon plate on, but not. So these are probably about the most squishy, most rebound, most push shoe that you're going to get without having a carbon plate in them. So these are great, but definitely not for like easy pace daily trainers. These are definitely a high performance marathon pace, tempo pace, getting after it kind of a run. Today we are at Lake Hefner, which is a 10-mile loop around this reservoir lake, and it's a fantastic loop. Beautiful day. As you can see, got nice sheltered run all the way around. Lots of bikers, walkers, runners on this loop today. All right, just wrapped up 2 miles warm up, nice and easy, about 8:30. Probably wanted to be around 9, but it's hard to go slow when you know that you got to pick it up. And then also, it's just a beautiful day. It's a little bit warm. It's gonna get hot, I'm sure. Mile 1, 7:04. Mile 2, 7:15. Wind in the face, a little bit harder, but we're turning. Should be okay now. All right, mile 3, 7:08. That felt tough. I'm not gonna give up on the marathon pace miles. I'm just gonna take a little bit of a break, maybe like a 90-second breather at the end of each mile, and just kind of catch myself and then hit the mile. So I'm gonna do this as opposed to a 9-mile hold. I'm gonna do it like a 1-mile interval run. So 1 mile, stop for 90 seconds, and then another mile, 90-second break. Mile 4, 6:58. Man, that sun is right on top of me. Mile 5, 7:06. 74, the real feel is 80. That is about 45 degrees warmer than what I've been training in. All right, mile 6, 7:15. That was tough. All right, that one's mentally tough because the whole last mile, I thought there was gonna be a water stop here at this park. You see there's a big old park right here. There's a skate park over there. There's a workout park over there. There's a pavilion over here where there's a wedding about to start. There's even bathrooms, but no water fountain. So I drank the last of my water at the last stop. And here we are at mile 6, which was a 7:05, thinking I could fill up with water. Mile 8, 7:18, 1 mile to go. Let's do this. All right, mile 9 at marathon pace was actually a 7:30. Oh man, workout done. So that's a total of 11 miles at an average pace of 7:26. So, man, that was tough. I also did not bring salt tabs. That was a terrible choice. I should have brought salt tabs for sure. I've got salt all over my shorts. Shortly after my run today, I posted this photo of my hat full of salt, and not too long after, both of my coaches messaged me wanting to talk about their concerns about my salt intake. Now, for context, it's been super cold here the last few months, as it has been around most of the nation, and so I haven't been taking my salt intake too seriously. And today was super hot, so it was a big jump in temperatures, as I've talked about in the video already. So I didn't really prepare to take salt tablets and things like that. And for context, that hat is over the past few months collection of salt, not just from today. But we did talk about my salt intake, and it is too low. So standard, what I've been talking about is if you are a light sweater, somewhere between 300, 600 milligrams per hour is sufficient. But if you're a heavy sweater, probably 600 all the way up to 1,000 milligrams per hour is what you need. Now, my coaches are challenging me, and they want me to go all the way up to 1,500 to even 2,000 milligrams per hour She said that she's been doing a bunch of research on this and that the results have been really great. So because I'm such a heavy salt sweater, she said, let's go for it. So I'm gonna be testing out 1,500 all the way up to even 2,000 milligrams of salt per hour over the next couple of months to see how my body responds to that. Now, I would not encourage everybody to do this. I guess I'm extra heavy is apparently what my coach is saying. So we're gonna try it out. Welcome to Saturday morning. We started off the day with a little over 14 miles of easy pace miles and then finished up with 5 15-second strides with a little bit of a cool down at the end there. A great way to start the morning. Then we flew here to Austin for the weekend. All right, so what's the big deal about salt? Well, there's a couple of things. The first one is that salt really helps us to absorb the water and retain the water, being hydrated by the water that we're actually drinking. Because if not, if we don't have enough salt, we're just going to pee it out, we're just going to sweat it out. It's not going to actually absorb into our body and stay there. Having enough salt is going to help your muscles improve their function. One is it's going to help to avoid cramps. It's going to help your muscles from locking up and not functioning as well late in the race. Salt really helps improve the nervous system as well. It's going to help with coordination, reaction time, avoiding that brain fog or even dizziness late in the run as well. And salt really helps with our energy levels because when it increases your blood volume, you're going to help your heart function better, your muscles function better. Salt's going to really help your energy levels as well because it increases the blood volume. So therefore you have more blood, more oxygen getting to your muscles. So this is why sometimes you feel like the same workout on one day seems a lot harder than it does on other days. Often it's because of your salt intake, because when you have not enough salt, your blood decreases, and so your heart, your muscles have to work harder to do the same amount of output. So replacing salt through salt tabs or through your liquids is going to help replace all of the salt that you are sweating out. So again, you've got to be putting it in because you're going to sweat it out. One big concern for endurance athletes is the losing of micronutrients and minerals through sweat. So making sure that you get back in these minerals and micronutrients through salt tabs is going to be really important for your long-term health and efficiency as an endurance athlete. All right, happy Sunday. We just got done with 5 miles on the treadmill. That's going to put us at 52 miles for the week. So creeping into the 50s now for the next few weeks, and then towards the end of this block we'll be hitting into the 60s. So a reminder, as you're building mileage, it takes weeks if not months to go from 25 miles a week to 55 plus miles a week. And there's a lot of back and forth as to what volume you need in order to get marathon ready. But a big part of it is not just the miles, but the time on feet. So as I get faster, I can go more miles, but in the same amount of time. If you're running a 10-minute mile, then you're going to be on your feet the same amount of time as someone who's maybe running 12 or 13 at a 7-minute pace, right? So it's not always about the miles, it's about the time on feet and how much pounding you're putting on your body. So don't get so consumed about the mileage as more of the time on your feet. Add slowly. It's not an overnight going from 25 to 50. It's a great recipe for getting injured and just being fatigued, tired. So those are some signs that you might be adding miles too fast, is if you're just continually tired. You can't, after Saturday long run, you just can't move the rest of the day. You might be adding too many miles. Now, this morning I was a little bit sluggish because we went out last night and I had a little bit of some queso and a lot of chips. And so I was a little bit sluggish this morning. So great day, got some meetings ahead and then gonna try and hit the gym before my flight home. Okay, stop. Not all salt is created equal. just like not all calories are created equal. Same as with salt. So when you go to a restaurant like McDonald's or In-N-Out, they put a ton of table salt on their food. Their fries, they taste so good with all the salt on them, right? And when you're at home, if you're using table salt, this is really high processed salt that is manufactured and is not really healthy. There's not any minerals in them. Table salt is not the type of salt that we're talking about taking in on this video. We want to be taking in pink Himalayan salt or some kind of Celtic salt, something that is rich in minerals, something that's coming straight from the earth. So when you're choosing your salt, make sure you're choosing a mineral-rich salt, like pink Himalayan salt or Celtic salt, not table salt.